Like that? Morning, children of God.
Good morning.
Oh, what a glorious day. Every time you look at this, you learn something new, he said, looking at it. Every turn in your life, every time you decide, every turn in your life, every time you decide, you become parent to all the alternative selves who follow. Steve's been humming for about an hour. A decision. Let's stand, join together and sing in the silence. O loving Father, Mother God, we take this moment and acknowledge your presence moving in and through us. In this moment, we choose to be open and receptive and responsive to your instruction and to your guidance. In this moment, we are grateful for the opportunity to come together, to worship, to sing, and to pray in the name, in the nature, and in the power of the Christ. Amen.
Amen. Our daily word today is joy, and Alice Joy will be reading our daily word this morning.
When I read this morning, I thought this was written exactly and expressly for me. But I hope you will get something out of it and think that perhaps it was also written for you. And the title is Joy. My joy is complete in spirit. If I am searching for someone or something outside me to make me happy, it's time to shift my attention inward. I may be discontented with what is happening or not happening in my life, but my life's circumstances do not define my happiness. I choose instead to embark on an inner journey to joy. Joy is always within me as a gladness of my soul waiting to burst forth. Sometimes I simply need to give myself permission to experience joy. The joy of spirit is as much a part of me as my heart and my soul. I have joy in knowing the Spirit of God is always present, and I carry this with me every moment of the day. I'm not waiting for something to happen to me or for me. My joy is already complete in spirit. And from John 15:11, I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete.
Now, the people at home are all going, now what was the awe for? Awe. See, that gives you another reason to be here on Sunday. Because sometimes I get these slides up and sometimes I don't. And my assistant, Terry, is the one who picks them. I give her a theme and she just find stuff that seems to work. Before we go into prayer and meditation, which we're headed for, some of you may be thinking, 3 guest musicians in August. Wow, what's that about? What that is about is our friend Steve will be traveling for 3 weeks off to Russia. We're just going to hold him in the light and love, and he has arranged for having folks with us, and we'll look forward for that vacation for him and then returning back to us in September. And the other piece of information, because Rob forgot to write it down, gee, that hasn't happened very often, is that, believe it or not, we're getting close to time for election of trustees here at Christ Unique Church. And so if you are a member of our congregation, not just show up here on Sunday, but actually a live, warm-blooded member, and that's a choice also, a decision, think about being of service as a member of the trustees. So we'll be talking more about that later. I just want to kind of put that out there. And all of that takes care of the business of the day, so to speak, and so now we can breathe. And remember who we are. We remember who we are. And who we are is what we put after these 2 words, I am. So let's take our affirmation together. I am a child of the living God. I have within me the all-creating power of the Christ. It radiates from me and blesses all whom I contact. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I am now in the presence. Let's sing I Believe. Lord, the essence of my being, I am now in the presence. I believe, I trust, I have faith. Gently, easily, effortlessly, I move to that place in consciousness that is my secret place, my inner closet. I breathe, and with each breath I take, I quiet my mind. Have I stilled my body? Now I allow those thoughts and feelings of what I should have done to gently dissipate. Those thoughts and feelings of what I have yet to do this day, I gently set aside. And for one holy moment, I rest in the stillness, in the silence. In my prayers I have asked, here in the stillness, in the silence, answers come. This day, in this moment, in this now, I listen for that still small voice that comes to me in love. It brings to me that which I need in this moment. And this day I reach out and say, yes, this day I claim this good which has come to me this day. All my needs are met this day. I affirm my oneness this day. As I breathe, I immerse myself in these gifts. Each and every cell of my being, re-energized, revitalized. I am whole and free. In this moment, I feel the love of God moving in and through me. In this moment, knowing I am a channel through which good works in my world, I allow this flow to move from me, through me, into this place. Here and now, these thoughts of like mind come together, grow in strength and in power, and touch each and every one of God's children. In this moment, I am blessed. I choose to be a blessing, and I allow this flow to continue through me, from me, into our community, across our state, touching each and every one of God's children. I am blessed. In this moment, I choose to be a blessing. I allow this flow to continue through me, from me, across our country, around our world, touching each and every one of God's children, whether they recognize it or not. I am there. In this moment, this flow moves throughout our universe. And knowing that we are never separate one from the other. In this moment, somewhere, someone is saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am blessed with the gifts you have sent. I am grateful. And that gratitude swells up and returns to you. The circle of life, full and complete, whole, oneness affirmed in this moment. I live this thought. I breathe this thought for one holy moment. knowing there is more yet for me to do this day, gently, easily, effortlessly, I bring my attention back to this now, to this when. And holding to this experience, I join with you and pray as Jesus, our elder brother, has taught us, when he said, "As for you, pray therefore in this manner." Life is for living. One of the things that Charles Fillmore taught was that you need to change your language. And the less you talk about death and dying and that which is dead, and the more you talk about life and living, the more you do it. So who would you be today? Would you be in the land of the living or someplace else? Can I humbly suggest it's more fun on this side? Life is for living. One of the challenges that we have is we don't know what life means. It's constantly in flow for what that means for us. And we have arguments about what that means from a human perspective. And that's where part of the challenge comes in, because we're looking at it from a human perspective. Life isn't about this. This is an expression of life, but it's not about this. Life is. Now watch. God is. Therefore, God is life, which is an idea. So what's your idea of life and how's it working for you? Uh-oh. Therein lies the rub. Right? Because this outer demonstration is thought. It's my thoughts. It's my feelings. It's what I believe about my world. It's what I believe my world to be, and that's how it shows up out here. And we get together collective called race consciousness, or however you want to do it. We all agree on stuff, and that's what shows up. But the truth is that you and I can say what life is, but it only applies to whom? Meme. Because it's my definition of what life is. It's my expression of what life is. The same way as that by attempting to define God, you attempt to limit the unlimited. God is all. Both visible and invisible. One presence. One. And this one presence is life, love, intelligence, and substance. And you and I are expressions of this one. We are also, in my humble opinion, really good forgetters. We forget who we are. And we allow others to tell us who we are. And we buy in. As opposed to living life. From where? From your heart. What does that mean for you? From your heart. We had a great discussion here just a little bit ago, and it's been on my mind for quite a while, is we live in such wonderful times. I am so absolutely thankful for the time in which I live, where I can talk to my daughter in London as you and I are speaking right here, where I can see events in my world unfolding around me as they occur anywhere on the planet in real time. That, however, creates a problem for me. And that is, I have to redesign a set of filters that I call priority filters. Can I be concerned about what's going on in other parts of my world? Absolutely. Concern being worry being fear writ small, which I want to eliminate, but I can be aware of it, let's put it that way. If it shows up in my world, where does it begin? Everyone do it with me. It begins in me. It begins in me, which means that I can get rid of it. So if there is turmoil in my world, I can release turmoil, can I? I can begin to set it aside. But I have to create a filter because I live in this world. And I hear this frequently. I'm really upset about what's going on pick a spot in the world, and of what the appearance is. And the underlying appearance in so much of it is fear. A lot of anger, but anger is fear of loss. So what happens when I can then live anger-free? Ooh, that's a tough one. It's okay most of the time, particularly for the people I like. You just went with a list. Here's all the people I don't like. Got to deal with that list. But it's internal, isn't it? It's a list, just like anything. It's a list. It's internal. And I can shift my thinking about that list as well. Because it's all about what's going on in here. I get to interpret it in a new way. And that's really what Jesus was teaching when he said that I came that you might have life and have it more abundant. More abundant. I came that you might have life. See, up till then, depending on who you talk to, it was more about another idea. And Jesus came along and said, look, I came here not to change the law, but to add to it. I want to add a couple pieces. What you have so far in your existence is great, by the way. It's really working for you. And oh, by the way, the Ten Commandments is not a multiple choice list. But there's a couple other pieces that need to be added to it. Here's the first one. The Father and I are one. Up till now, you haven't heard that. The Father and I are one, you and I are one, which means you and the Father are one. God and I, you and I are all one. Oneness. That was the first time that really came about. And he added the second piece, and that's love. The greatest commandment, love one another, even as I have loved you. Now, one of the things we have to think about in that statement as being a human being, a human becoming, is, okay, I get the love piece, but what about people who don't love me back? What's with that? Where are they? They're exactly where they need to be. That's the tough one. Because regardless of behaviors, my job is the same job that Jesus had, is to love one another, even as I have loved you. So the love that you feel in its strongest possible way is the one that you should apply to that list we just talked about a minute ago. So I can love them. I don't need to approve of their behaviors. And for anybody who has children, I love them a lot. And they make decisions with which I disagree. However, I love them through it. I love me through it. One of the challenges that we all have is we have this picture in our head of what perfection looks like. And of course, my children are all perfect. Yours, I'm not so sure about. But not happening, right? Right? We paint a picture. And as a parent, we try and put that picture on the one we love. And I grew up with this statement: playing pool does not look good on your resume. I'm sorry, I was very good at it. I'm not sorry, I was very good at it. I got a lot of liberty when I was in the military being able to play pool. Therefore, it was an asset. But we paint pictures of what we think others should look like. We paint pictures of what we should look like. And we base it on what we think others think. And that's why we're insane. It's just the truth. We're nuts. I respond and show up in my world based upon what I think you think about what I think. What? No wonder Jesus went apart. These guys are driving me nuts. Right? What's with that? Breathe. The whole notion is designed to help you identify who you are and get past this stuff. That's why we're here. All the stuff that we've inherited, and again, not good or bad, we're looking at it from an observational perspective rather than a judgmental one. Look at it from an observation. It just is. Okay? The sky is blue. No. That's my perception of what it looks like. The moon is green cheese. That could be a yes. I haven't been there. Perception. So it's all about how I perceive things. Life is about perception. Think about it from this perspective. We have a great facility just north of us called the VA Dom. And every year, at least once a year, sometimes twice, they do what they call a powwow. And they invite the vets from around the country, literally the ones living in the weeds, to come in and get some health care and food and clothing. And some of them have chosen a lifestyle that you and I look at in comparison and go, and instead what we need to do is say, they've chosen a lifestyle and I love them. I support them, and how can I honor them? And the answer is to honor them. You don't even have to say anything. You get to show it, by the way, because it comes out of you. You are energy at the core of you, and when you do this, that shows up. And if you don't believe me, try this one. Smile your way through a checkout counter at a grocery store. And get in line behind the guy that has 22 items in the 10-item line. So you all painted a picture, didn't you? And, boy, there's going to need a little love on that one. What's the matter, pal? Can't you read? Made a choice. Not right or wrong, just made a choice. And for all of our choices, there are consequences, and we need to learn how to live with them. And the choices that we make, hopefully, provide lessons so that we make a different choice a different way. When does life begin? Say with me, right now. Together? Right now. Life begins right now. No, I mean it. Right now. I'm not guessing. Right now. Every time we said that, we made a transition in thinking from one set of beliefs to a new one. Life begins when? Right now. I live life when? Right now. So it doesn't matter what's going on somewhere else. I need to live life right now. Oh, you got it. Now, granted, as soon as we hit the door, you'll go, what did he say today? No, just kidding. Just kidding. We do that, though, don't we? We take it in and we say, yeah, this works. And then something comes into our experience, a challenge of one kind or another. Some that we would label as horrific. As horrific. The one that comes to mind right at the moment is what occurred in San Francisco over the weekend. Okay? Where a plane landed short of the runway is really what it comes down to. They haven't said that totally yet, but that's in essence what occurred. But the neat thing is even though it landed short of the runway, only 2 lost their lives. 100, give or take, were injured, and 200 walked away. That's pretty cool. Really? So what is my job in that? Love them all. Love the 2 that have made transition. Love the 100 plus that are recovering and healing as examples of learning how to heal, and love all the rest of them that walked away. And love the guy that stood outside the cockpit, the plane, took up his iPhone and said, "Hi, I'm on the runway. I just got off the plane that crashed." Instant communication. And then YouTube right now, after we sell the rights, but that's another story. Okay? My point is that stuff goes on in our world that in the past has taken a long time to get to us, and now it's there and it's instant, and so we need to form a new set of filters. I call these filters priorities. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is whatever this is in my life in, watch the filter, in this moment? There are riots in Egypt. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is that in my life in this moment? A 1. Maybe even a -12. I don't know. It's your number. You pick it. Okay? For some people, it's a 10. This is really very important. And they have a list of why. And it's okay either way. But I've created a filter for me that says I need to put it into perspective of what I need to do now. This is what I do in that. This is what I'm working on. It doesn't work all the time. I'm getting better at it all the time. When something shows up in my world that is less than perfect, that I would, as a matter of course, label as bad or wrong, the very first thing I have to say is, breathe. What in me needs healing in this moment? What's the underlying cause? What am I feeling? Well, I'm feeling fear. Okay, then I need to, right now, breathe and release fear. It didn't land on my house. Now, that sounds a little cold, but it's really not. I need to come out of fear. What's the next thing that comes to mind? Thank God that the services were there to help the people that need it when they needed it, the help. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Now, the guy who's sitting on the airplane on the next runway, not able to get to the terminal for an hour, was not quite so happy. Some of them were. Generally for the notion that goes, thank goodness, it wasn't me. And that's an okay thought too. Now, on the surface, you're saying, wait a minute, you're sounding very self-centered here. No. What I'm trying to do is open up so that I don't engage in thought that continues to form in a way other than I would like it to have. Do I want to live in a world of fear? No. Therefore, I will not be fearful. Do I want to live in a world of disaster? No. Then hopefully I won't be one, whatever that means. Do I want to live in a world of disharmony? No. Then I need to be harmonious. I need to take the thought of being, literally being in harmony, being in oneness. It doesn't say being in agreement. You notice that's not one of your 12 powers? Being in agreement. There's a lot of other ones, but that's not one of them. What I need to be is from my heart, I need to be a channel through which good works. Okay, so I can look at that which isn't good by definition and change my definition and rethink it. And in that moment, transition. And I'm living life. I'm focused on life. I'm focused on the truth of who I am. And the rest of it will catch up when it catches up. I've been accused throughout my lifetime of being the general who never looks back. You just take off down the beach, don't you? I went, yeah, that's kind of what happens. You don't even look to see if the army's following you. No. Why not? I got a slingshot. I got a great shield. That's what my brother David said, right? Because I'm not concerned. But I had a good teacher. A good teacher. He said, drop your nets and follow me. and started walking. He didn't go, oh, come on, really. Please drop your nets. Please. Oh, come on, please. No, really, I mean it. You guys are, please. No, hey, this way, follow me, and I'll make you the fishers of men. And off he went down the beach. Now, that's Rob's picture, and I give it to you for what it's worth. You may have another picture of what that's all about. But that's living, so I don't wait for something to happen. I live it, and I move on. I bring it with me, and I move on. I understand that it's mine. I take ownership of it. And if it no longer fits the truth of who I am, I rethink it and make a transition in that moment. In that moment. So think about it from this perspective. I am one with life. I am one with intelligence. I am one with substance. I shorten it. I am. As you move through your life, your perception, think about what you put after your I am. Diligently work at making it the truth of who you are, as opposed to what you think it's all about. And it begins with loving you. Loving you so much that you can share it freely with the rest of the world. And a lot of us have challenges with that because we have our own picture that we're trying to work through. So I want you to hold a thought right now. I want you to see you, breathe. Picture you. I love you. Together? I love you. Hold that picture. I bless you. Together? I bless you. Hold that picture. Breathe. I appreciate you. Together. I appreciate you. Now, hold the picture and look past the picture to the truth. I behold the Christ. Together. I behold the Christ. In this moment. In this moment. You are alive. Namaste.
Thank you for listening. Please feel free to pass this message along to your friends and family. You can obtain additional audio tapes or CDs by visiting our website or by calling our office at 541-772-6902. We invite you to join us in prayer. We know that prayer works, and now you can send your prayer request to our prayer team here at Christ Unity Church by using the form on our website. The activities, programs, and services of this ministry are presented on a love offering basis. All gifts, regardless of size, are gratefully accepted. You may participate either by sending your gift to Christ Unity Church, 540 North Holly Street, Medford, Oregon, 97501, or by visiting us on the internet at www.unitymedford.org.